Stop it!
What does it take to become a cop?
Oh my God. I think we better step back.
Off you go then, please.
Gwent Police's new recruits are letting the cameras follow their first months on the beat.
You are the people that will make the biggest difference.
Dogs, there you are!
Oh, it's mad.
They come from all walks of life.
I was working part-time in a supermarket.
I was working in a pharmacy.
I was a postman. What? Bang!
But they have one thing in common.
I wanted to help people.
Well, we just want to make sure that you're safe.
With police forces busier than ever
This has got the potential to be worth like millions of pounds.
and public confidence at an all-time low,
Calm down.
it's never been tougher to be a cop.
It's hard when they tell you they don't like you, you're a police officer.
We're there to support you. We're only trying to make the streets a little bit safer.
After 6 months in the classroom, they're hitting the streets.
Vehicle stung.
Under the watchful eye of their tutors, they've got just 12 weeks to prove they have what it takes.
I don't think anything can prepare you to be a police officer.
Policing is one of the most challenging things I've ever done. Oh, God.
These are the rookie cops. Newport Central Police Station.
Take them back to the cell, then go and wait at the desk to be called forward.
Rookie Cari and her tutor Irene are just starting their shift. It could be the last time they work together if 21-year-old Cari can prove she's ready to go solo.
Since I started in March, it's just flown. It's just gone so quick. It's a bit surreal, to be honest. I didn't really think this would ever come around when I first started, like, sort of applying. To now, it's just crazy.
Tonight, Cari and Irene have been tasked with investigating a report of shoplifting.
2 offenders living in the same address, but on further inspection, they were outstanding for quite a few thefts.
Both suspects are well known to police. The force deals with more than 3,500 reports of shoplifting every year, and it's on the rise.
It keeps us busy. Yeah, there has been a lot.
Prolific shoplifters are normally people that unfortunately have addictions to drugs and alcohol. They are shoplifting to fund their habits, and the items that they will steal will be things like meat, cheese, alcohol, things that are easy to sell, and then they will use that money then to go and buy drugs.
It's definitely on the rise. We're all always aware of the things like the cost of living crisis and things like that, and that definitely impacts on our demand as well. We've got to be understanding of people's situations and why they're driven to do what they do, so we can try and stop it.
If the individuals are home, it'll be down to Cari to make the arrest and show Irene what she's learned.
Cari's now at that stage where she's getting crimes allocated to herself. She needs to sort of do the investigation side independently.
Now I'm getting used to different calls that I could be put in, different priorities, without the guidance of Irene straight away. The female has been stealing baby milk, baby formula and nappies. And the male has just been stealing anything he can get his hands on.
The male in particular had quite an extensive range of warning markers. He was extremely volatile, really sort of, violent towards police. It's never nice when you see several sort of warning markers, especially like assault police or weapons. Should we take our kit with us straight away or not?
Yeah, I'll grab out.
Yeah. You've just got to take all that into consideration and to go as a team. So the police, can you come to the door, please? Can you just come outside for a minute?
People's perception of the police is not good. People don't like the police. It's just the norm these days.
Do me a favour, just turn around and face the wall for me, alright?
Right, look!
Turn around.
I got big hole in my leg. I'm trying to be careful.
I'm still getting used to it, and it'll take me a while to get used to it as well. I'm arresting you on suspicion of theft. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later rely on in court. Okay. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Theft from where? Theft from where?
We'll explain it to you now.
Brake blue, okay? The male and female have come compliantly, so we haven't had any sort of real issues surrounding that. He's got the key to the door. So it was a nice one for Cari to sort of take the lead on. So I think it's done really well for her sort of confidence, being able to liaise that and make sure that she's capable of updating and controlling situations.
It's a busy Friday night. In Ebbw Vale, Drew, Rhys and their tutor Dan are heading out on patrol.
There were a number of parties and nighttime revellers out and about. On a Friday or Saturday night, it can be a recipe for disaster sometimes.
And with the pubs and bars filling up, the emergency calls soon start coming in.
Two male spotted. One has been slammed to the ground numerous times. One is wearing a black jacket and a red shirt.
We had an emergency graded call to the Beaufort area whereby there was an allegation, an anonymous report that two males were fighting.
No description of the one on the ground.
We attended on blue lights and was presented with a male who was bleeding from his nose and his side of his face.
And then there was another male on the opposite side of the road as well that was also involved in the scuffle.
You feeling all right though, Bet?
We want to keep them separated because we don't want any further fighting to take place.
That's one, just keep breathing, like.
So Drew sort of dealt with the one male, and whereas I dealt with the other.
Before trying to work out exactly what's happened,
I'll go chuck a dressing on you, right, before you go, you cut that, right?
Drew deals with the man's injuries.
See if we can give her a white bet.
Yeah, all right.
In fairness to Drew, straight out of the car, first aid kit, cleaned him up as best as possible to start off with.
From skills that I've had through 17 years of the Air Cadets, teaching first aid, as soon as I seen that, I went into autopilot, strapped him up.
Quite a substantial bleed.
Drew bandaged his head up, and then it was the sort of process of trying to ascertain what had gone on.
We've been fighting over then. You're going to have that stitched, but I think. What's your name? What's your name, Beth?
But he wouldn't say who his name was or anything. It seemed a proper odd situation.
What was your name, Bud?
Both parties were incredibly drunk. No one was willing to provide any information to police.
Have you got a wallet or anything on now?
So dealing with people who are under the influence can be a bit hit or miss, I suppose. Specifically when you need information, and a lot of the times people aren't willing to give sort of ID or home addresses.
Where did it start? Up by the cash point? And what happened then?
You just started going for him.
Right, so you went to get money out, yeah? Did he just hit you from behind, or did he grab you?
In fairness to Rhys, I think he persevered with the one guy, even though we didn't know whether he was an offender, a victim, a witness. So Rhys did well to sort of establish some details from that guy.
He went to the cash machine, got a bit of money out, and on his way back, someone assaulted him, basically. Oh, funnily enough, they say the same over there. He's saying he was getting cash out.
Oh, he was getting cash out.
With both men drunk and blaming each other, it's unclear how the fight started.
It's quite annoying to deal with situations like this, especially when there's no CCTV, because it's just one word against the other then, and you can't really take that as real evidence.
It is frustrating. You can't piece together exactly what's happened, but unfortunately, in some cases, that's just the way it is.
Who started what at the minute? We don't know. But he's got a nasty cut to his head, so he's going to have to go to the hospital, and he's got to go to wherever he wants to go, basically.
Investigations will have to wait until the morning, though. The man needs urgent medical treatment.
If we can get authorisation just to get him up to the hospital if there's a wait. Are you all right to run him up, like?
With only a few more shifts before their tutorship comes to an end, Dan's impressed by the rookie's performance tonight.
They work well together, you know, as and when they go independent, and which they will do. You know, they should continue that progress. Ironically, he's just broke the first aid kit, but don't worry.
Do we have a last known description of the mill?
In Chepstow, Christian and experienced officer Megan are responding to an emergency call. A man has gone missing after telling a family member he wants to end his life.
It puts me on very high alert because he has a long history of attempts at ending his life. So it was quite a major concern.
The race is on to find him and make sure he's safe. Someone is reported missing every 90 seconds in the UK. Gwent police alone deal with more than 4,500 calls involving missing people every year.
We get a lot of MISPers, or missing persons. They go on a variety of scales, standard, medium or high risk.
Go ahead.
Obviously, when you get to the high risk, you've got sort of more extensive action to complete.
We were really worried about that male, given that it wasn't a pleasant evening to be going for a walk. It was, you know, really horrible rain, windy, dark, cold.
How far are you going to walk that way? That way.
We tried 3 or 4 different locations, but they were all negative and there was nobody there.
Negative at the moment. Mike 054, are you able to assist with that?
On the odd occasion, we do deal with a higher risk missing person, and that is when the helicopter will be out. Resources such as dogs will come out to help us.
How fast can we find them? Where are the search parameters? We need to narrow this down where he could possibly be.
With the temperature dropping and time passing, Christian is getting more concerned for the missing man.
It is cold. We were just mindful that it was absolutely freezing. So I was just thinking, are we going to find him in time? Nope, no one did. Dear.
While Christian and Megan continue searching, in Newport, rookie Emma Marie and her tutor Sam are also responding to a 999 call.
We got this call that a school had been broken into, an alarm was set off.
Obviously, we were looking at it as if it was like a burglary or something like that.
Calls come in from security. They had an activation. They've attended the site and they've spotted one male. He's making off towards the gymnasium.
We've rushed over, try and sort of catch them in the act. You don't really know who they are, what their intentions are going in there.
That's all it seems. Is there a dog unit available nearby? Or?
Just checking. If you want to walk up anyway, in general, just they come from where the field area is between the Gapshire Gate. So there might be still people here.
Yeah, obviously, mate, we'll start doing that now. I've just used the car to block the road out of here.
While other officers search the school grounds, Emma Marie and Sam block off the main entrance to try and stop the teenagers escaping.
Because 2 other officers are down there and basically scare them off and see if they come in this direction, because this is the only way in and out. Because this is the problem, we go to these calls and you just don't know what's going to happen.
I get nervous, but I get more nervous of a ghost coming out and scaring me. Like, like, I don't know, I'm just weird like that.
Just do a quick sweep of the ground. Receive.
It's like a field there.
Let's have a look.
What is that?
The pair don't find the intruders, but they do discover something else.
NOS canisters.
When we were going through the field, we thought we'd find these buoys, but then obviously we came across these gas canisters.
About 10, 15 empty canisters of NOS, which has been made illegal now to possess. So I don't know if it could be linked to that. This would be roughly the area where they've come from.
Nitrous oxide, known as laughing gas, is now a Class C drug. It's illegal to possess for the purpose of getting high.
People have started using it with like balloons and that sort of thing, and it's obviously dangerous.
It's often linked to antisocial behaviour, and the force is cracking down on its use and supply.
People doing it on nights out, things like that. You hear stories about people with like permanent brain damage and that sort of thing. So it's important to try and get as much of that off the streets as we can.
Hey mate, has much happened in there? Anything damaged or like stolen or anything?
No, mate, they've only broke into the gym. And we all think they've just gone in there to play football because it's cold outside.
I think not far from where your van is, we just walked into a bit of a field and there's like 15 or 20 like discarded, those like big bottles of NOS canisters.
But again, that probably goes with the fact there's a bunch of teenagers. Supposedly there was 4 of them. Some made off and jumped over a fence, and obviously the others then were the ones on the mopeds.
Yeah, no dramas, mate. We'll pick them up and chuck them all in a bag together, then we won't worry about forensics.
So yeah, we obviously had to clear them away and seize them and make sure they were destroyed. So we put them all in this paper massive bag.
You're gonna need help carrying that.
As long as the bag doesn't break.
Oh, it's gonna break.
I thought it would.
Oh man. This was like set my giggles off for the night. We lifted it up and they just all collapsed on the floor.
Got any more bags in your car?
No, mate, how many cans are there?
There's loads of them, mate. The bag's just split.
Oh, God.
I think we underestimated how heavy the canisters actually were. Luckily, we weren't looking for any forensics or anything off them, otherwise we'd have been a bit stuffed, I think.
Right, if I lift from the bottom. Hold on.
If you can.
1, 2, 3. To me.
You almost fell over there.
2. Don't make me laugh. Oh my God.
It was like one of those funny moments.
Yeah, we do have a laugh. I think it's one of the most important things about this job, and it's one of the best things as well, is that sort of camaraderie that we build. Yeah, it's nice to see how she's sort of fit in well to that as well.
With the canisters bagged up, Emma Marie and Sam take them away to be destroyed.
Do you reckon those boys are the ones that had them?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gas. Makes you worry about your kids, innit?
Yeah.
Back at Newport Central, Cari and Irian are bringing the couple they arrested for shoplifting into custody. Cari will be interviewing the man about the offences on her own.
Yeah.
You're going to be confident enough to interview on your own now? Yeah. Make sure you note the start time, the finish time, and a summary of what was said as well.
It is very hard. It's very hard work to get used to it and get used to all the different policies and different paperwork and different stuff that you've got to do. You all right? It is very important to have sort of communication skills and people skills. That is the main thing about the job, is having tactical communications to be able to either talk people down or explain what's going on. Contrary to Section 1, Subsection 1 and Section 7 of the Theft Act 1968, you stole healthcare items up to the value of £30 and selected 5 boxes of chocolate, and that comes to a total value of £55 left without paying. I think the Theft Act is the first that you learn. It's not easy because there's so much to say and so much to explain. I feel like in your head, your head's just going 100 miles an hour, but now I just feel like if I take my time and go slow, as long as I get everything out and explain everything properly, it's okay.
With CCTV footage showing the couple taking items without paying, they both admit to some of the offences.
All went fine. He completely admitted the one offence but denied the other. But we have got a full account of what happened for the offence that he denied. So yeah, very straightforward. 11 minutes, I think it was.
Cari can now charge the man with the theft and he'll be sent to court.
You're charged with the offence shown below. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which you later rely on in court. Lovely, cheers. Right, there you go. Pop both of them on there if you're okay.
Can you remind them about a couple of things?
Yeah, no worries.
Back in Monmouthshire, Christian and Megan are still on the hunt for the missing man. He's now been gone for several hours on one of the coldest nights of the year.
After about an hour of searching the area for this man, we eventually got a call over the radio that my colleagues had located a man that they believed to be this missing person.
Yeah, they have found him. They're with him now. I think he's unconscious. I did have that sense of relief when officers radioed in saying that they found him. But he was not communicating to officers whatsoever. Trying to get ambulance on scene. We weren't out of the woods just yet. We were just mindful that ambulance was very far away. Obviously, waiting times in rural communities is quite high, and we tend to be the first responders on the scene. We got there as fast as we possibly could. When we got there, we can tell he's been there for a while. His skin was quite cold.
Your eyes open for us. Can you tell us if you've taken anything? He's just not responsive.
He was very intoxicated. I don't know whether through drink or drugs. I think it might be an accommodation of both. Ambulance staff advised me to use naloxone on him.
Naloxone is a life-saving drug which can reverse the effect of an opioid overdose.
Talk to us. My main concern at the minute is for your health, okay?
We were unaware what this male had taken. Could have been any opioid at all. Even if he hadn't taken any sort of opioid, then the naloxone wouldn't have hurt him at all, but it was just to see if it would sort of help him come around a little bit.
Come on, squeeze my hand, buddy. That was the first time since training I've ever had to use anything like that. I administered it, but it didn't have any effect. You're making us quite worried now. Come on. Nothing really prepares you for a situation like that. Okay, we'll have to put you in the recovery position, okay? This is very stressful to go to those places where there's a risk of a loss of life or serious injury. He wasn't wearing the warmest of clothing. One thought was thinking how to prevent hypothermia, keeping him warm. Just talk with us or nod your head.
Chris was great. He was still sort of reassuring that he was safe and that we were going to try and help him as much as we could.
Do you want to get up?
Is that a nod?
Thankfully, the man eventually starts to respond.
He seemed to come around a little bit. He still wasn't saying an awful lot, but we explained that we'd be taking him to the hospital to get checked over.
Okay, 1,
We'll
2,
set you up in the
3.
car.
Go, that's a good lad. There we go, good man. Good man, we've got you.
With an ambulance likely to be some time, Christian and Megan finally managed to persuade the man to let officers take him to hospital.
We handed over to one of the night units who are going to convey him to the Grange, so he's in safe hands now, and we're just thankful that, yeah, it's all going to be okay as we book off in about 20 minutes.
In Newport, after a busy night shift, it's a big day for Cari. It's time for her end of tutorship review.
I can't believe I'm here. It's a bit surreal, to be honest. I didn't really think this would ever come around when I first started, like, sort of applying. To now, it's just crazy.
All of her work over the last 10 weeks has been thoroughly assessed by a sergeant.
Sarge? How are you? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, how are you?
Cari and her tutor Irene are now meeting with him over video call to discuss her progress.
How have you found 10 weeks?
Good. Flown by, though. I'd always thought about doing it, but then I thought, oh, is it ever actually going to happen? Like, nah, I'll never actually push myself to do it.
How do you find conflict?
Yeah, I think something just kicks into my brain, to be honest. Something like takes over me, and then afterwards I'm like, right, I don't know where that just come from, but okay. I do like any blue light run. I love that, being in the car with it's just, I don't know, you're just like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen? So it has all been a bit of a whirlwind. I feel like since being in training school and coming out on shift, it's like 2 different jobs.
And you've had some positive feedback. Obviously you spoke to Adrian, he's very praiseworthy and said you're good at dealing with the public.
So, has she done enough to go solo?
I'm going to say you're definitely recommended for independent patrol. As of today, I will sign you off.
Okay.
If you're happy with that, not too nervous.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay.
Thank you both, good luck.
Lovely, cheers, Sarge. Bye.
After months of hard work, Cari is a rookie no more.
There you are, on her own.
No, I'm not.
Ta-ra.
Oh my gosh, it's actually done, I've done it. But it's still very like, right, this is it now, you're on your own.
The couple Cari arrested for shoplifting were made to pay compensation, and the man received a suspended sentence.
You're going to have that stitched back, I think. What's your name?
And despite investigating what happened during the fight in Ebbw Vale, Drew and Dries were unable to take any further action. Next time for the Rookie Cops. Sophie clocks on for her first ever solo shift.
Oh my God. What do I do?
Saskia takes charge at the scene of a serious car crash.
You can't go in there, it's too dangerous. There's a stream running underneath.
And Christian faces his most challenging incident yet.
You've been warned! Do not do that! He chose me as his focal point of aggression.
But as training comes to an end for the rookies, has he made the grade?
I'm not ashamed to admit it, I did have a wobble. I did have a few wobbles.